Entry 33. Transcription begins. Voice print confirmed. Dagon 6. There's a new entry in the terminal that I don't remember recording. It's labeled as Reyes, but it's filed under my clearance, my biometric, my breath pattern. I played it back. I heard her voice, clearer than before, confident, but the words felt like mine. Not memories, not hallucination. More like something I hadn't said yet, but might. Today I found one of my own journals in the incinerator chute. Charred, mostly gone, but one page survived. It said in block script, "She is not a ghost. She is the version of you that kept listening." I don't remember writing that. I don't remember choosing not to listen. And yet I feel it now. A pressure behind the eyes, a warmth. I used to call it fear. Now, it feels like recognition. I stood in the signal chamber for 13 minutes. No suit, no shielding. I waited for the sickness, the nosebleeds, the madness. None came. Just a steady hum. I realized I was humming with it. The same key, same intervals. Like I had always known the song, but only now remembered the words. Reyes was right about one thing. The resistance hurts. But the surrender knows my name. End of entry 33. Entry 34. Transcription begins. Voice print confirmed. Dagon 6. The lights flicker less now. They've adjusted to the signal. I caught my reflection today in the polished metal of the med storage unit. Not the mirror. I won't look at mirrors now. But this was accidental. My face is wrong in ways I can't describe. Not grotesque or disfigured, just out of sequence. Like someone edited me, frame by frame, and forgot to line them up before pressing play. I heard Reyes again, this time not through speakers, not through logs. She spoke from the vent system. A voice carried on recycled air. She said, "We're almost ready." I asked, "And for what?" And she answered, "To stop pretending we're separate." I didn't argue. I don't know how. The words don't come easily anymore. They fight me. I speak in chords sometimes. Harmonics. I sleep in the observation deck now, not because I feel safe, there's no such thing anymore, but because that's where the stars used to be. I stare out at what should be space, but there's only haze. Something is circling us, not a ship, a structure, alive and orbiting. Every night it's closer. Every morning I forget its name. But I'm certain I used to be part of it. End of entry 34. Entry 35. Transcription begins. Voice print confirmed. Dagon 6. I found an old playback unit half fused to the deck in subsection 9. Looked dead. The kind of tech we stopped using cycles ago. But the moment I touched it, it blinked to life, like it had been waiting for my hand. There was no label, no timestamp, just a voice, her voice, Reyes. We were arguing, I think, though neither of us raised our voices. She was telling me that not everything bends to structure, that my systems were just masks I made the unknown wear. I told her that's what systems are for, to force the unknown into shape. She said, "One day this place will speak in your voice, and you'll wonder if you were ever here at all." Then the file ended. No corruption, no static, just silence, deliberate and clean. I don't remember that conversation, not the words, not the tone, but I felt something familiar. Not like recalling a memory, but like standing in a room you forgot you'd built. I played it twice. Then I said her line out loud, just to feel the shape of it. And now I'm going to the archive vault. B3. the place no one talks about. Maybe she's still there. Maybe I am too. End of entry 35.
Entry 03, system recovered log fragment. Marrow.
I've bypassed the auto-lock on this node. The mainframe says I'm not authorized to log entries anymore. Guess that's what happens when your heartbeat doesn't sync with the loop. Whatever. Manual override still works if you hold the leads to your skin. Bleeds a little. But it works. The lights are lying. Power usage dropped to 07 hours ago, but the tower's still lit. That thing inside B3, the one they say hums. I heard it speaking through the conduit metal. No voice, just pressure, like your bones remembering a sound they were never meant to carry. I saw Reyes yesterday, or what's left of her. She didn't walk. She moved like an idea, the kind you can't forget even when you want to. She looked at me, right at me, and said nothing, and I still can't stop hearing her.
Entry 03, system recovered log fragment. Marrow end of fragment. File partially corrupted.
Entry 04, log terminal active, encrypted clearance. Reyes 9. He's near the threshold now. He thinks he's still deciding whether to enter B3, but it's already happened. From where I'm standing, it always has. He'll place his hand on the panel. He'll pause. He'll hesitate just long enough to wonder if he's still the one choosing. That moment will echo across 3 timelines, and then the door will open. I remember the first time I heard Marrow's voice. It wasn't through speakers. It was through metal. Conducted through cable. Like a whispered current. He was scared, but what moved him wasn't fear. It was discipline. That's what I admired. Even as he frayed, he still patched the loop. He still wrote it down. That's the thing most of them forget. The log matter's final entry, embedded in a half-burned processor he'll mistake for debris. He'll hear the part about my eyes. He'll hear the silence after it. And in that silence, he'll begin to understand. The signal doesn't create new stories. It just plays them until someone changes the ending. I'm still waiting to see if he does. End of entry 04.
Entry 36. Transcription begins. Voice print confirmed. Dagon 6. Reyes once asked me, if the signal is only reflecting us, why does it hurt so much to hear it? I told her, because we're not built to be echoed. We're built to be answered. She didn't reply, just closed her eyes like she already knew the rest of the conversation. Maybe she did. Maybe I've said it before. Maybe I haven't said it yet. And Marrow, he was in the corridor with us, I think, or maybe I just remember him there now. He kept asking if the walls had teeth, not in a poetic way. He meant actual teeth. I said, "Now that's absurd," but Reyes whispered, "Not if the walls are hungry." That was when the power cut and the breathing started. We spent 3 minutes in darkness before the backup kicked in. When the lights returned, Marrow was gone. No alarm, no exit signature. Just his boots, facing the wrong way. One upright, one sideways, both still warm. I keep hearing them, not just Reyes, not just Marrow, the others, ones we never named, ones who left nothing behind but pressure in the air. Their voices slipped through seams in the walls, looped fragments, half-breaths, and reversed phrases, like static trying to remember what it meant to be language. I heard one say, "Open your mouth, Eli. Let it echo through you." I wasn't speaking at the time, but something inside me answered. I reached the outer hatch of B3 today. The panel recognized me, but not my name. Just a hum of approval, like something behind the door had already been watching. I paused, and I heard her again. "You're not ready." Only it wasn't Reyes. It was me. My voice, slower, cracked, as if it had lived through things I hadn't done yet. It said, "Don't let the door think you knocked. Let it think you remembered." I turned to leave, but the corridor had changed. The floor was longer. The lights were older. A sign on the wall had peeled away to reveal another word beneath it. Listen. And I don't know what's worse, that I saw it, or that I already knew it was there.
Entry 05. Log terminal active. Encrypted clearance. Reyes 9. He heard me at the outer hatch, but not yet beneath. He's forgotten where sound ends and signal begins. What he thinks is memory is only the loop, tightening. And it's not listening to him anymore. He's just the last mouth to hear it, to carry it inward. Somewhere inside, he must feel this. Somewhere inside, he's already accepted. What he doesn't know, what they don't know, is that hell made itself for us. The broadcast isn't some alien hygiene or cosmic exorcism. It's our own signal, our own mirror, stripped of mercy, pulsing with the coherence of everything our data taught it to believe. And the room. The room is its final devotion, its closure. Soon he'll step inside and realize why there was always someone waiting here. I've seen him do it. I've heard him do it. It's not destiny. It's his decision. A human right. And he'll reach for the door, not because he believes, but because he needs to stop asking the question. End of entry 05.
Entry 37. Transcription begins. Voice print confirmed. Dagon 6. The door wasn't locked. That's what froze me. No code, no confirmation chime. Just a sound like cloth tearing underwater. I didn't open it. I just arrived, and it was ajar. Inside, the light isn't cast. It settles. Dust hangs in the air without falling. I said her name, quietly, the way you'd say it in a church if you weren't sure God was still home. And then I heard her. Reyes, not in the air, inside me. Her voice old and soft and unguarded. If you're here, Eli, then you still think it's your decision. And that broke me, because I realized I'd been narrating this whole time, like I was still the main character in something. But I'm not. I'm just a relay now, a witness. My story ended the moment I started repeating myself. There's a table in the room, wooden, splintered, and on it, an old analog recorder. Still spinning, still humming. No signal, just tape. And I haven't pressed play yet. I'm afraid it'll sound like me. Or worse, it won't.
Entry 06. Log terminal active. Encrypted clearance. Reyes 9. I remember a birthday. His, not mine. He made tea, cheap synth stuff, and played Bach from a failing comm speaker. I laughed at how dramatic it was. He said, "Even the dust should feel like it's listening." That was before the signal, before the static stole our small things. I don't know why I remember that now. Maybe because I'm not as whole as I pretend. Maybe because the signal doesn't erase everything, it just prioritizes. And something in it still considers that moment essential. He's sitting in the room now. I can feel it. Still trying to decide whether to press play. But he already has. He always has. And when he hears what's on that tape, when he hears who speaks first, it won't be me, and it won't be him. It'll be something older. Something that never needed a name.
I didn't want to press play, that's the truth. Not because I feared what I'd hear, but because some part of me already knew. The recorder was old, Analog even. Real tape. Real magnetic drag. The kind of thing that still hums even when it's not plugged in, like it remembers its purpose without needing power. It spun slowly, steady as a heartbeat, waiting. I reached out with the kind of care you use when touching a body that might still be warm. My finger hovered over the worn play button. Not plastic anymore, metal rubbed smooth with age or use. I pressed it. The click was louder than I expected. Sharp, mechanical, final. There was silence at first and then a breath. Not mine, not hers, just breath, pulled in like gravity. And then the voice, low, patient, scraped across something too wide to be lungs. You are not the first. A pause, then again, closer. You are not the last. It wasn't Reyes. It wasn't me. But it carried parts of both of us, braided into a cadence that felt like it had been speaking for centuries, and only just now found air. I wanted to stop the tape, but I couldn't move. Not out of fear, out of recognition. The voice was doing what the signal never did. It spoke. It didn't reflect or echo or hum. It spoke. It spoke. And that made it dangerous in a new way. It meant something had changed. Something had stepped out of the mirror. You've already made the choice, it said. You just haven't caught up to it yet. I pressed play. The machine didn't click. It breathed, a slow, steady intake of sound, like the room itself was drawing it in before I could hear it. The tape hissed, but not in decay, in anticipation. Then the voice started. Not mine, not Reyes, not even the one from the outer corridor. This voice was flat, timeless, like a mirror speaking back. There is no silence here, it said, only pause. And then, as if on cue, the room answered. It was faint at first, shifting, a rustle, then a foot, then dozens. The sound of weight returning to forgotten bodies. I turned around, slow, mechanical, and saw them. Figures in the dark. Not hidden, just waiting. They stood along the perimeter of the chamber, shoulder to shoulder, featureless in the dim light. Some wore uniforms I recognized, some wore nothing. All of them watched me, though most had no eyes. I stepped back, but the floor beneath me rippled. Not stone, not metal. Something pliant, like stretched skin under pressure. My foot didn't echo. It was absorbed. And still the recorder turned. The voice continued. You have entered your own coherence. You are not here to leave. You are here to stop asking. From the masses, one of the condemned souls stepped forward. His footsteps didn't make sound, only pressure. A soft displacement, like something in the floor yielded, then reformed around him. He was tall once, I think. Bent now, not from age, but from some unnamable gravity that bent thought as much as bone. His face was inconsistent. Parts of it matched memory. Others were overwritten, as if someone had started to recreate him and quit halfway through. I recognized the coat before the face. McAllister. It was his. No, it had been his. But now it hung on this thing like skin borrowed from another species. His mouth didn't open to speak. The tape still spun, and the voice, that voice, kept speaking in rhythm with his movements. You are still asking, the voice said. He is not. McAllister, or whatever was left of him, raised one hand, not in greeting, in imitation. It trembled slightly like it remembered what hands were for, but not how to use them. Behind him the others swayed, not in reaction, in rhythm, as if they were all breathing to the same breath. The breath of the room, the breath of the signal. You came here for a reason, the voice said. But you can't remember what it was. That is your gift and your sentence.